The massive alien ship appeared without warning in Earth's orbit on a quiet Tuesday morning. It was 5 times larger than the International Space Station and shaped like a smooth, dark crystal. For 3 days, it floated silently above the planet, while world leaders argued about what to do. Admiral William Carter watched the alien vessel from the bridge of the USS Arlington, one of 3 American warships sent to monitor the situation. At 52, Carter had spent his life preparing for war, but never one like this. "Any response to our hails?" he asked his communications officer. "Nothing, sir," said Lieutenant Olivia Green. "Wait, something's happening." A brilliant blue light flashed from the alien ship. Seconds later, screens across the Arlington lit up with the same blue glow. A face appeared. At least Carter thought it was a face. The being had smooth gray skin, 4 eyes arranged in a diamond pattern, and no visible mouth. "People of Earth," came a voice that seemed to bypass their ears and speak directly into their minds. "I am Thrixval, representative of the Galactic Council. We come in peace and friendship." Within hours, the alien visitors had established communications with every major government on Earth. They called themselves the Zelnar, one of 12 species that formed the Galactic Council. They claimed to have watched humanity for centuries, waiting for the right moment to make contact. "Your species stands at a crossroads," Thrixval explained during a United Nations meeting. "You have developed remarkable technology, but also face extinction from your own actions. The Council wishes to guide you toward a better future." The aliens offered gifts beyond human understanding: cures for cancer and other diseases, clean energy systems that required no fuel, and technology to clean Earth's polluted air and water. Most leaders accepted these gifts eagerly. Dr. Susan Miller, a biologist from San Diego, was among the first scientists invited to work with the aliens. She was assigned to study the medical technology the Zelnar had brought. "This is incredible," she told her colleague Alan Reyes, as they examined a device that could heal wounds instantly. "This will save millions of lives." Alan nodded but looked troubled. "Don't you think it's strange they're giving us all this for free? Nobody gives away their advantages without expecting something in return." Susan brushed off his concerns. "Maybe advanced civilizations outgrow our selfish instincts." Not everyone shared Susan's trust. General Patricia Sanchez, head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, voiced her doubts during closed military meetings. "They arrived undetected by any of our systems," she pointed out to Admiral Carter. "That means their technology is far beyond ours. We need to be careful about what we accept from them." But her warnings went unheeded. The world's governments rushed to implement the alien technology. Within months, hospitals worldwide used Zelnar, medical devices. Cities replaced power plants with the alien energy systems. Massive machines cleaned the oceans and forests. For 6 months, Earth seemed to be entering a golden age. Disease rates dropped, pollution cleared, energy became free and abundant. The aliens began teaching humans about faster-than-light travel and promised to sponsor Earth's entry into the Galactic Council within a decade. Admiral Carter was reassigned to oversee integration of Zelnar defense technology with Earth's military systems. He worked directly with alien engineers to install new shields and weapons on key military vessels. On the day that became known as Dark Tuesday, Carter was aboard the experimental warship Defiance, testing its new systems in the Atlantic Ocean. Susan Miller was also present, running final checks on the ship's life support upgrades. The first sign of trouble came at 0600 hours, when all communications suddenly went dead. "What's happening?" Carter demanded, as the bridge crew scrambled to restore contact. "Unknown, sir," said Commander Frank Lewis. "All channels are down. Wait, I'm getting reports of power failures across the eastern seaboard." Before they could investigate further, the sky lit up with dozens of bright streaks, new alien ships entering the atmosphere. Unlike the peaceful vessel that had first contacted Earth, these were clearly warships. Susan burst onto the bridge, her face pale. "Admiral, the Zelnar technology, it's not what we thought. I found code hidden in the medical devices. They're not healing tools, they're monitoring systems. They've been collecting data on human biology for months." Carter's worst fears were confirmed when the Defiance's radar showed missile launches from the alien ships. They targeted major cities, military bases, and government centers. On the few screens still working, they watched as Washington, D.C. was hit by energy weapons that reduced the capital to ruins in seconds. This was their plan all along, Carter realized. The technology they gave us, it must have back doors. Susan nodded. The energy systems, the medical devices, everything, they're all connected to a central network the Zelnar control. They've been building an off switch for our entire civilization. As if to confirm her words, the lights on the Defiance flickered. All across the planet, the alien gifts were turning against humanity. Medical devices released toxins into hospitals. Energy systems overloaded, causing explosions in major cities. Communication networks broadcast mind-numbing signals that left millions unable to resist as alien ground forces began to land. But the Defiance was different. The installation of its alien systems had not been completed, and Susan had found the hidden codes just in time. "Can we fight back?" Carter asked his weapons officer. "Conventional weapons only, sir. The alien upgrades are offline, but our original systems still work." Carter nodded grimly. "Set course for the Arctic. We need to disappear until we can understand what we're dealing with." As the Defiance slipped away, Susan studied the alien code she had discovered. "There's something here," she whispered, "a vulnerability in their network. If we can understand it, maybe we can fight back." On the bridge, Admiral Carter watched the burning coastline of what had once been Boston. "They think they've won," he said quietly. "They think humanity will surrender. They're wrong." Outside, the sky darkened as more alien ships arrived to claim their new conquest. Earth had fallen in a single day, but its defenders were not defeated. The counterattack would come, and when it did, the Galactic Council would learn just how dangerous humans could be when fighting for survival. 8 months passed since the day Earth fell. The planet was now divided into 7 zones, each controlled by a different alien species from the Galactic Council. Humans were forced to work in labor camps, mining their own planet's resources for alien use. Those who resisted were killed without mercy. Deep beneath the ruins of Chicago, Lisa Novak huddled with her small team in an abandoned subway tunnel. At 34, the former cybersecurity expert had never imagined she would lead a resistance cell against alien invaders. The flickering light of a salvaged lamp revealed the tired faces of her team. "The supply raid was successful, Marcus," Johnson said as he unloaded a bag of stolen alien food packets. The former Army Ranger was covered in dirt and sweat, but his eyes still burned with determination. "We also grabbed these." He placed 3 alien communication devices on the table. Lisa picked one up carefully. "These will help us tap into their networks. Good work." Their hideout was simple but effective. The aliens rarely ventured underground, preferring to use flying vehicles to patrol the surface. The Resistance had mapped hundreds of miles of sewer systems, subway tunnels, and forgotten maintenance passages. These formed a hidden highway for the human resistance. "Any word from other cells?" asked Ben Rivera, a high school teacher who now served as their medical expert. Lisa shook her head. "Communications are still spotty, but there are rumors of a larger group operating in the Australian outback. Someone called Wilson has established a place they call Haven." Marcus loaded his rifle. "Haven sounds nice, better than this hole in the ground." "First, we need to gather more intel," Lisa reminded him. "The aliens are planning something big. The number of transport ships has doubled this month." Their conversation was interrupted by a soft beeping from their jury-rigged radio system. Someone was broadcasting on the emergency frequency the Resistance used. "This is Admiral William Carter of the USS Defiance. To all surviving human resistance groups, we are still here. We are still fighting. We have discovered critical information about the enemy. Seek contact through secure channels. Authorization code Sierra Echo Victor Echo November." The small group stared at each other in shock. The Defiance had survived. Rumors had spread about a military ship that escaped the initial attack, but after months with no sign, most had given up hope. "Can we trust this?" Marcus asked. "Could be an alien trap." Lisa considered the message. The authorization code matches old military protocols. I think it's genuine. She began typing on a salvaged laptop. I'm going to try to reach them. 3 days later, Lisa and Marcus crouched on a rooftop overlooking what had once been Grant Park. It was now a processing center where alien ships landed to collect resources. They had followed the coordinates sent in an encrypted message from the Defiance. There, Marcus whispered, pointing to a human in workers' clothes moving through the crowd. The walk doesn't match the outfit. That's military. The disguised soldier made brief eye contact with them before disappearing around a corner. Lisa and Marcus followed at a distance, careful to avoid the alien guards. These were Creel, the Council's main security force. Tall, muscular beings with reptilian features and a reputation for cruelty. The soldier led them to a maintenance door that opened into a forgotten service tunnel. Inside, 2 more humans waited, with weapons ready. One lowered her gun when she confirmed their identities. I'm Commander Kelly Wright, the woman said. Admiral Carter sent us. We need to move quickly. They traveled through the tunnels for an hour before reaching their destination, a hidden chamber beneath the ruins of the Field Museum. There, projected on a wall, was the face of Admiral Carter. Ms. Novak, Mr. Johnson. Carter nodded from the screen. Thank you for coming. We've been locating resistance cells across the globe. What you're about to hear is strictly classified. Dr. Susan Miller appeared next to him. She looked thinner and had a new scar across her cheek, but her eyes were bright, with purpose. The aliens have a critical weakness, she explained. All their technology runs on a quantum entanglement network. It's what makes their system so powerful, but it also creates a vulnerability. We've developed a virus, Project Firestorm, that can disrupt their entire network. If it works, Carter continued, it would disable their weapons, ships, and communication systems. But to deploy it, we need access to 3 main control nodes around the planet. Lisa leaned forward. Where are these nodes? Washington, D.C., Siberia, and Kenya, Carter replied. Each is heavily guarded. We need teams to infiltrate all 3 simultaneously. Marcus frowned. How are we supposed to get past their security? The moment they scan us, they'll know we're human. Susan smiled for the first time. That's where our other discovery comes in. The Defiance has spent months hidden in orbit, studying alien technology. We've created modified battle suits that fool their bioscanners into reading the wearer as a Creel guard. Commander Wright opened a large case to reveal what looked like body armor made from alien materials. We have 6 sets for your team. With these, you can walk right through their front door. Lisa studied the armor. Even if we get inside, how do we upload this virus? Each team will carry a module, Susan explained. Once all 3 are connected to their respective nodes, I can activate Firestorm remotely from the Defiance. What happens after that? Marcus asked. Won't they just fix the system and hunt down whoever's left? Admiral Carter's expression turned grim. Firestorm isn't just a temporary disruption. It will permanently damage their quantum network. Most won't recover. Lisa realized what he wasn't saying. You mean it will kill them? Their implants are connected to the same network. Carter didn't deny it. They came to exterminate us. Millions of humans are already dead. The rest are slaves. In 6 months, their harvest operation will strip Earth of everything valuable, leaving it uninhabitable. This isn't just about survival anymore. It's our only chance to fight back. The room fell silent as everyone absorbed the implications. They weren't just planning to disable alien technology. They were planning to kill millions of alien beings in an instant. When do we start? Lisa finally asked. 3 weeks, Carter answered. We need time to prepare all teams. Your cell will lead the Washington operation. Find your best fighters. As the meeting ended, Marcus pulled Lisa aside. Are we really going to do this? Commit what amounts to genocide? Lisa looked out a small window at the ruins of Chicago, where humans worked like ants under alien oversight. They didn't give us a choice. If we don't stop them now, humanity ends. Sometimes survival requires terrible choices. In the dark tunnel, they began planning humanity's ruthless counterattack. The world changed in minutes after Firestorm activated. Across the planet, alien technology failed. Defense systems shut down. Ships fell from the sky. Weapons stopped working. The invaders who had seemed so powerful suddenly found themselves vulnerable. Lisa and Marcus fought their way out of the Washington facility as chaos erupted around them. The few Creel guards still functioning were confused and disorganized without their neural links. Many alien administrators simply collapsed where they stood as their implants overloaded. "We need to find Ben and Erica," Lisa said as they navigated through smoke-filled corridors. They found Erica taking cover behind a fallen column, nursing a wounded arm. "Ben didn't make it," she told them, her voice tight with pain. "The guards cornered us after the alarms changed. He bought me time to escape." They mourned silently as they made their way out of the facility. Outside, the scene was even more chaotic. Alien ships spiraled out of control, crashing into buildings, or burning up in the atmosphere. Freed human workers were fighting back against the few guards still standing. "The Defiance is reporting similar scenes worldwide," Marcus said, checking the communication link in his battlesuit. "Firestorm spread through the entire alien network. It's affecting their ships in orbit too." Lisa looked up at the sky where streaks of light marked falling alien vessels. "We need to gather the survivors and secure this area before the aliens can regroup." They spent the next several hours organizing the freed humans, treating the wounded, and collecting alien weapons. As night fell, Lisa received a transmission from Admiral Carter. "The Kenya operation was a success," he reported, though he looked exhausted. "We lost half our team, but the node was secured and Firestorm deployed as planned. How are things in Washington?" "We're holding the central facility," Lisa answered. "Most of the aliens are dead or incapacitated. The humans are rallying quickly." "The Siberia team reports similar success," Carter said. "Commander Wright didn't survive, but her second-in-command has secured the area." Lisa felt a wave of sadness at the news. So many good people lost. "What's our next move?" "Dr. Miller has analyzed the Firestorm effects. The virus is spreading beyond Earth through the quantum network. Reports indicate it's reaching Council worlds. This is bigger than we anticipated." Lisa considered the implications. "You mean we're not just freeing Earth, we're hitting the entire Galactic Council?" "Exactly," Carter confirmed. "We need to consolidate our position here first, but this could change everything. The Council species relied too heavily on their technology. Without it, they're vulnerable, just like we were." Over the next 2 days, similar reports came in from resistance groups worldwide. Humans were taking back their planet one region at a time. The aliens who survived were confused and disorganized without their technology and communication networks. In Chicago, Peter Wilson, the engineer who had established Haven in the Australian outback, managed to repair an old radio transmitter. He broadcast a message to all human survivors. "The invaders are weakened. Fight back. Reclaim what is yours. Earth belongs to humanity once more." 3 days after Firestorm, Lisa's team reached a makeshift command center established in the ruins of the Pentagon. Admiral Carter had landed with a small force from the Defiance to coordinate the global response. "Our victory is more complete than we dared hope," Carter told the assembled resistance leaders. He activated a holographic display showing the solar system. "The alien fleet in orbit is completely disabled. We've begun capturing their vessels." For study, Dr. Miller stepped forward. She looked tired but satisfied. "The quantum disruption caused by Firestorm was more devastating than we predicted. Any species with neural implants connected to the network suffered massive casualties. The Zelnar were hit hardest. They had the most extensive implants." "What about the other Council species?" asked Marcus. "We're picking up distress signals from their home worlds," Miller replied. "Many of their ships were affected mid-flight. Their orbital stations are failing. They're experiencing what we experienced during their invasion, sudden technological collapse." One of the resistance leaders, a woman named Grace Fletcher who had led the Boston cell, spoke up. "So we didn't just free Earth. We crippled their entire civilization." The room fell silent as everyone absorbed this reality. Their desperate counterattack had evolved into something much larger, a devastating blow against the entire Galactic Council. They brought this on themselves, Carter said firmly. They came to our world uninvited. They deceived us, attacked us, enslaved us. They planned to strip our planet bare and leave us to die. We did what was necessary to survive. Lisa thought about John and Ben, about Commander Wright and all the others who had died to make this victory possible. What happens now? She asked. Now we rebuild, Carter answered. We salvage what we can from their technology, the parts without hidden traps. We strengthen our defenses, and we prepare for whatever comes next. You think there will be more aliens? Marcus asked. Dr. Miller nodded. The Galactic Council had 12 member species plus numerous client races. Some will have been crippled by Firestorm, but others may have been less dependent on the quantum network. They'll eventually come looking for answers. Let them come, Carter said, his voice hard. Next time we'll be ready. Humanity won't be caught off guard again. As the meeting ended, Lisa stepped outside. The sky was clearing of smoke for the first time in days. Stars were becoming visible. Somewhere up there, alien civilizations were reeling from humanity's counterattack. Worlds that had never heard of Earth before were now learning a harsh lesson about underestimating humans. Marcus joined her, looking up at the same stars. Do you think we went too far? He asked quietly. Lisa thought about it before answering. They pushed us to the edge of extinction. We pushed back. That's what humans do. We survive. In orbit, the Defiance had begun scanning deeper into space, monitoring for any sign of alien response. Earth had won this battle, but the war for survival in a hostile galaxy was just beginning. Humanity's ruthless counterattack had stunned the Galactic Council, but it had also announced humanity's emergence as a force to be reckoned with among the stars. Lisa Novak stared at the alien battlesuit, running her fingers over its strange metal surface. The material felt warm, almost alive. The resistance team had spent 2 weeks training with the suits. Now the day of the mission had arrived. Everyone, clear on the plan? She asked the 5 people gathered in the underground bunker. They wore simple clothes, but their eyes showed the determination of warriors. Team Washington is ready, Marcus replied, checking his weapons one last time. Once. Inside the facility, we have 30 minutes to reach the central node and plant the device. Similar conversations were happening in 2 other locations around the world. In a hidden base in the Siberian wilderness, Commander Kelly Wright prepared her team. In Kenya, Admiral Carter himself would lead the assault on the primary alien processing center. Lisa activated a small holographic projector showing a map of the Washington, D.C. control center. The once proud American capital was now an alien fortress surrounded by high walls. Inside these walls, the Zelnar had built their North American headquarters. We enter through the worker transport, Lisa explained. Our suits will identify us as Creel security forces escorting human prisoners. Ben and Erica will play the prisoners. What if they scan us? Asked John Ross, a former police officer now part of the resistance. The suits will mask your biosignature, said Dr. Susan Miller through a secure communication line from the Defiance. Just remember to move like them. Creel walk with a slight forward lean and keep their arms close to their bodies. The team. Practice the alien walk one more time. The battle suits were more than just disguises. They enhanced strength and provided limited protection against energy weapons. But they weren't perfect. The suits will only fool them for a few hours before. The system detects the irregularity, Susan warned. Once that happens, every alarm in the facility will trigger. Admiral Carter's voice came through the communication system. All teams, final status check. Team Washington, ready, Lisa confirmed. Team Siberia, ready, came Commander Wright's voice. Team Kenya, ready, Carter finished. Operation Firestorm commences at 600 hours. Good luck. Remember, the future of our species depends on this mission. The communication ended, leaving a heavy silence. Marcus checked his watch. 2 hours until we move out. Lisa looked at each member of her team. Get some rest. I need everyone at their best. But rest didn't come easily. Lisa walked through their underground base, checking equipment and reviewing the plan in her mind. She found Marcus sitting alone, staring at an old photograph. Your family? She asked quietly. He nodded. My wife Karen and son Joey. They were in Boston when the attack came. His voice was flat, emotionless. I keep wondering if they suffered. Lisa sat beside him. We can't change what happened, but we can make sure it wasn't for nothing. You? No, before all this, I was planning to retire from the Rangers, Marcus said with a sad smile. Buy a fishing boat, grow old in peace. When this is over, maybe you still can, Lisa offered, though they both knew the chances of survival were slim. What about you? What did you lose? Lisa hesitated. Nothing as important as family, just a career, an apartment in Chicago with a view of the lake. A cat named Max who probably didn't survive. The moment of quiet reflection ended when Ben appeared at the entrance. It's time. They suited up in silence. The alien armor closed, around them like a second skin. When Lisa activated her helmet, the world looked different through the alien visual system. Colors were sharper, and she could see heat signatures through walls. Move out, she ordered, her voice sounding strange, through the suit's communication system. The journey to Washington took 3 hours in a salvaged underground maintenance vehicle. They emerged 5 miles from the alien facility and continued on foot. As dawn broke, they joined a line of human workers being herded toward the main gate by actual Creel guards. Lisa felt her heart pounding as they approached the security checkpoint. A tall Zelnar officer operated the scanner, waving it over each worker. When it was their turn, Lisa stepped forward. Security escort with special workers for central processing, she said, the suit translating her words into the harsh clicks and growls of the Creel language. The Zelnar officer barely looked at them, waving the scanner casually. A green light flashed and he motioned them through. Security systems recognize you as Creel, Susan's voice confirmed in their earpieces. You're in. Inside the facility, they marched through long corridors, filled with alien technology. Humans worked at various stations under the watchful eyes of guards. The sight strengthened Lisa's resolve. These weren't just workers. They were slaves. Central processing is 3 levels down, Marcus whispered. We need to find an access lift. They located a transport tube and entered, standing stiffly as 2 real Creel guards joined them. Lisa felt sweat beading on her forehead inside the suit. If they were discovered now, the mission would fail before it began. One of the Creel looked at them, its yellow eyes narrowing. It growled something in its language. Lisa's suit translated, "Which division are you from?" "Outer Security," Marcus answered through his suit. "Special assignment from command." The Creel seemed satisfied and looked away. When the lift stopped, the real guards exited and Lisa's team continued downward. "That was close," John whispered. "Focus," Lisa reminded them. "We have 25 minutes remaining." The central processing level was heavily guarded. Through her enhanced vision, Lisa could see the energy barriers protecting the main systems. They would need to disable those barriers to reach the node. New plan, she decided. Ben, Erica, create a distraction at the east checkpoint. Draw the guards away from the central node. The rest of us will make our move when they respond. The plan worked better than expected. When Ben and Erica staged a prisoner escape attempt, alarms blared throughout the facility. Most of the guards rushed to contain the situation. Lisa, Marcus, and John ran toward the central node, their enhanced suits allowing them to move faster than humans normally could. They reached the main chamber where a pulsing crystal structure floated in a containment field. "That's it," Lisa confirmed. "The quantum node." John worked quickly to bypass the security systems while Lisa and Marcus stood guard. The alien tech yielded to their stolen access codes. "I'm in," John announced. "Uploading Firestorm module now." A progress bar appeared on his suit's display. As it reached 50%, the facility's main alarm suddenly changed tone. "They've detected us," Marcus warned. Lisa checked her weapon. "John, how much longer?" 30 seconds, keep them off me." The door to the chamber burst open as 3 Creel guards rushed in, weapons raised. Marcus fired first, his enhanced weapon cutting through one guard's armor. Lisa engaged the second while the third advanced on John. "Upload at 80%, John called out, desperately trying to protect the module. Lisa dispatched her opponent and turned to help John, but she was too late. The Creel guard fired, the energy blast catching John in the chest. He fell back but kept his hand on the module. Almost there, he gasped. The guard raised its weapon for a killing shot. Marcus tackled it from behind, the two crashing into a control panel in a shower of sparks. Upload complete, John announced as the progress bar reached 100%. Then he slumped to the floor, motionless. Lisa activated her communication link. Washington node secure. Firestorm module uploaded. From the Defiance in orbit, Susan's voice came through. Receiving confirmation. Siberia node is also online. We're waiting for Kenya. There was a tense pause. Kenya node is active. All three modules connected. Initiating Firestorm sequence. Lisa and Marcus braced themselves, uncertain what would happen next. For a moment, nothing seemed to change. Then the lights flickered, and the crystal node began to pulse erratically. Throughout the facility, alien systems started to fail. The Creel guards collapsed as their neural implants overloaded. In the distance, they could hear explosions as power systems destabilized. It's working, Marcus whispered. Lisa helped him carry John's body. Let's get out of here. This is just the beginning. Outside, the sky was filled with falling alien ships as firestorms spread across the globe. Earth's counterattack had begun. 3 years passed since Operation Firestorm changed the course of human history. Earth was different now. Cities were being rebuilt. Alien technology, carefully examined for hidden traps, helped humanity advance rapidly. The scars of invasion would never fully heal, but life was returning to the planet. Admiral William Carter stood on the bridge of the newly completed starship Vengeance. At twice the size of the Defiance, it combined the best of human engineering with salvaged alien technology. 60 similar ships were under construction in orbiting shipyards. Earth would never again be defenseless. System check complete, Admiral, reported his second-in-command, Captain Olivia Green. The quantum drive is operating at full capacity. Carter nodded with satisfaction. Begin final preparations for the diplomatic mission. The Vengeance was preparing for humanity's first official journey beyond the solar system. In the 3 years since Firestorm, Earth had established a defensive perimeter around the solar system, using captured alien vessels. Now it was time to venture further. In Geneva, the headquarters of the United Earth government buzzed with activity. Lisa Novak, now Secretary of Defense, studied reports from Earth's growing network of deep space monitoring stations. After the war, she had moved from resistance fighter to government leader, helping to unify Earth's nations under a single authority. We're picking up increased communication between the surviving council worlds, she told the assembled world. Leaders. They're finally responding to our message. After Firestorm, the Galactic Council had been in chaos. 27 of their worlds had experienced complete technological collapse. Billions of their most heavily implanted citizens had died when their neural systems failed. The few messages Earth had intercepted in the first 2 years were desperate distress calls. 6 months ago, humanity had sent out a formal communication using the alien technology. Earth was claiming its place among the stars and was open to peaceful relations, but would respond with overwhelming force to any aggression. Marcus Johnson, now General Johnson and head of Earth's military forces, joined the meeting. The years had added gray to his hair, but his eyes still held the same determination. The Vengeance is ready, he announced. Admiral Carter reports they can depart for the neutral meeting point whenever we give the order. President Samantha Lee, the first leader of the United Earth government, nodded. The council representatives have confirmed they will meet us there. This is our chance to establish new terms with the surviving alien civilizations. Can we trust them? Asked one of the council members. The Zelnar deceived us before. The Zelnar suffered the worst losses from Firestorm, Lisa pointed out. Their species is nearly extinct. The council members we're meeting are from the outer worlds, the ones less dependent on implant technology. In orbit, Dr. Susan Miller supervised the loading of the last supplies onto the Vengeance. As Earth's leading expert on alien technology, She would be part of the diplomatic mission. The past 3 years had been devoted to understanding the technology they had captured. Some of it was still beyond human comprehension, but they were learning quickly. The translation systems are updated with all known council languages, she told Carter as they completed the final inspection. We should be able to communicate clearly this time. Let's hope they listen better than they did before, Carter replied grimly. The Vengeance departed Earth the next day, carrying a crew of 200 humans to the meeting point, a neutral space station at the edge of what had once been Council territory. The journey took just 3 days using the quantum drive technology they had reverse-engineered from alien ships. When they arrived, 3 alien vessels were already waiting. They were smaller than Earth expected and showed signs of hasty repairs. The Council was clearly still recovering from Firestorm's effects. Open a channel, Carter ordered. The main screen activated, showing an alien face unlike any they had seen during the invasion. This being had pale blue skin and 4 arms. It spoke in a melodious voice that the translation system rendered into English. Greetings, humans of Earth. I am High Counselor Zin Laru of the Reformed Galactic Council. We have come to discuss terms. Carter stood tall. This is Admiral William Carter of the Earth Defense Force. We are prepared to listen. The alien's expression was hard to read, but its voice betrayed fear. The Council acknowledges the effectiveness of your counterattack. Many of our worlds still suffer from the effects of the weapon you deployed. Firestorm was not our first choice, Carter replied evenly. It was our only option for survival, after your forces invaded our world without provocation. The former Council leadership, particularly the Zelnar Dominion, has been removed, Zin Laru explained. Their actions against Earth were not authorized by all Council members. Some of us objected to the invasion but were overruled. Lisa stepped forward. Yet none of you warned us or offered help. The alien lowered all 4 of its eyes, a gesture the translation system identified as shame. We acknowledge our failure. Now we seek peace with humanity. The balance of power has shifted. Earth has demonstrated its resourcefulness. The human delegation exchanged glances. This was not what they had expected. The once mighty Council was essentially surrendering. These are our terms, Carter said. Earth claims this solar system and all surrounding systems within 20 light years as human territory. No alien vessel enters this space without permission. We will establish trade with peaceful species, but will maintain our defenses. Any future aggression will be met with immediate retaliation. The Council accepts these terms, Zin Laru responded quickly. We also offer reparations in the form of technology and knowledge. The negotiations continued for 3 days. When they concluded, humanity had secured not just peace but recognition as a major power in the galaxy. The species that had once dismissed humans as primitive now treated them with cautious respect, bordering on fear. As the Vengeance began its journey home, Carter found Lisa looking at the stars through the observation deck window. Do you think we've seen the last of them? She asked. Carter shook his head. This is just the beginning. The galaxy is bigger than we imagined, with more species than the Council knew. Some will be friends, others enemies. But they'll all remember what happened to the last group that underestimated us. Lisa smiled. Earth was just one planet of billions to them. Now they know our name. Back on Earth, the news of the successful negotiations was met with celebration. Humanity had not just survived, they had emerged stronger. The species that had nearly been exterminated was now taking its first steps into a wider galaxy. In what was once Washington, D.C., a memorial had been built to honor those lost in the invasion and the resistance fighters who had given their lives for Earth's freedom. As night fell, people gathered there, looking up at the stars with new understanding. The universe was vast and often dangerous, but humanity had proven one thing beyond doubt. Earth should never be underestimated. The ruthless counterattack that stunned the Galactic Council had marked the beginning of humanity's rise among the stars.